President Trump delivering a direct warning to Hamas after the terrorist organization said they will delay the next hostage release.
If all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off. If they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock. And after that, I would say all hell is going to break out.
Yarden Gonen is the sister of freed hostage Romi Gonen, and she joins me now. Yarden, what do you make of the president's warning?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sure. What do you make of President Trump's warning that we just heard?
First of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for all the Americans, all the amazing people that helped us throughout these difficult times. And thanks from the bottom of my heart to Trump and his administration, that because of them and him, I've hugged my sister again. And I wish that what he stated would be true, that all the hostages, all of them, all 76 of them that still remain in Hamas hands, will be released on Saturday. I want President Trump, to be remembered as the one who saved the hostages. I know he can do it. I believe in him, and I thank him a lot of everything that he's done and everything that he will continue doing for them. And America is our greatest ally, and we really thank for everything that you've done up until now. And from now on, we really need your help. We have a lot of hostages that are still alive and surviving there. We just saw on last Saturday the conditions that they came out with, how thin they were. They looked so pale and scared. I know about my own sister that she was shot on October 7th and her hand wasn't treated properly. She will need to get a really difficult and long surgery, and then at least 3 months of rehabilitation and recovery, and then another surgeries, and only because of Hamas it happened. So we really need all the help that we can get to get them out of there as soon as possible. Every one of them deserves their life back.
Of course, of course. Do you think that this back and forth is actually all part of Hamas's psychological torture aspect, not only for the hostages themselves, but also for their families, people like you?
Of course. Just think about that. They wanted everyone in the world to think that Israel is the problem. And somehow they managed to do so for several months. But in the past few days, ever since Ohad, Eli, and all was released, everyone in the world finally get to see what we know for too many days, too many months, a year and 4 months, that we're screaming that they are torturing all hostages, that they're treating them poorly and badly with any aspect that they can. And finally, the pictures showed the truth. So I think that their statement from yesterday was made only to try to turn things around and blame Israel again. Israel done nothing wrong. We haven't broke any rule or decide things that they wanted to say. It's only Hamas. We need to remember who is the problem, who is the evil. And I know that President Trump chose good over evil. He chose to save lives, and he's choosing it every day to, it's very hard. We're in difficult times throughout the Middle East, inside America, everywhere in the world. And President Trump put his foot down and say, we have to save all 76 hostages and to not give up on any of them. And this is how I want him to be remembered, as the one who saved all the hostages and end the war.
Yarden, we thank you for your time. Quickly, before we let you go, what do you expect to happen come noon on Saturday? Do you think all the hostages will be released then, per Donald Trump's threat?
this is what should happen. This is what should happen. And at least Hamas should continue the deal as it was supposed to be, without any hesitations, without any invented statements. We have to get all the hostages back and to not harm any of them. We have too many of them are still alive, doing everything they can to survive in the most horrific condition that none of us can even imagine. And trust me, I've heard my sister's stories. None of them deserves what they got there. We have to save them. We have to.
And I can't imagine being a family member going through that, listening to those stories, and also the family members waiting on word from their loved ones. Yarden Gonen, thank you for being such an advocate for these hostages. We are thankful that you and your sister are reunited.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
When you say all hell is going to break loose, are you speaking about retaliation from
You'll
Israel?
find out, and they'll find out too. Hamas will find out what I mean.
Mr. President,
They're going to find out what I mean. These are sick people, and they'll find out what I mean Saturday at 12 o'clock.
President Trump delivering a direct warning to Hamas after the terrorist organization said they will delay the next hostage release and dismissed his threats as having, quote, no value. Our next guests are the parents of Yael Alexander, one of the Israeli-American hostages being held in Gaza right now. Alexander and Yael Alexander join me now. And thank you so much for doing just that. We are praying for your son and hoping for his quick release. Adi, what is your reaction to what President Trump said yesterday, that all hostages, not in piecemeal fashion, all at once need to be released by Saturday at noon, or the ceasefire should end?
Good morning. I think people should take President Trump really seriously. He doesn't want to pay Hamas's ransom. He doesn't want to play the games that they started to play a couple of days ago. And we 100% support this claim. Everybody should be out at this point, but if not by this Saturday, at least by the end of the first phase, which is 2 weeks from now. It's been too long. And it was too cruel. And we saw the way the hostages were released last Saturday. And those pictures, literally, they were taken from the Schindler's List.
I know, it's just horrific. And Yael, just so everybody at home knows, your son was raised in Tenafly, New Jersey, about 15 miles from where I'm seated right now. He's a champion swimmer. He loves the New York Knicks. He's an American, and he should be home with you right now. And that's what Donald Trump is trying to achieve. So what went through your mind when you heard that comment from the president yesterday?
I'm going to tell you the truth. Sleepless night. I woke up this morning worried, straight to the news to see like what's going on in Israel, what they are saying, for the reaction for President Trump saying like, I'm worried, you know. This is my son. I just want him back home. I want to hear that the release of the hostages are still going. Everything is on track, but I'm worried.
Yeah, it is very concerning. And, you know, just seeing you together as parents and a split screen of your son and just a picture of him on the other side, it's hard to imagine what this past 400 plus days have been for you. So, Adi, can you tell us a little bit about that, the emotional roller coaster of what you're going through as this really fragile ceasefire appears to be fracturing even more right now, with Hamas saying that the next round of hostages that are expected to be released on Saturday will now not be?
This deal, it's not a perfect deal, but and it was ready, actually, this deal as it is was ready back in the end of the 2023. So it's not perfect, by all the parties invested so heavily in all the small details of this deal. So they kind of just kept going with that and pass it over the finish line. But again, we need to be really, really cautious and supervise the execution of this deal. That's why Steve Witkoff is always on the ground, and Trump's team is on the ground, and hopefully they will pass it over the finish line till the end.
Yeah. As a mother who has a son in Gaza right now, I mean, what was your reaction when you saw the 3 hostages and the condition that they were in when they were released this past Saturday?
I was happy for the family that they are alive, they are walking, they free, they giving the biggest hug to the families, but I was in tears. This is not how I imagined them to go out from Gaza. They were looking horrible, very, very thin. It was very, very tough to see. That's why I'm calling everyone to expedite and really like to engage and to do this, to release the hostages. And we're not going to forget there is still 76 hostages and 6 Americans in Gaza. Yeah. And we need everyone to come back home.
To come back home to you. Well, Donald Trump certainly sent a message yesterday that the previous administration would not have, and he's working hard to try and get your son home and the remaining hostages in Gaza as well. Adi, Yael, thank you so much for joining us. We'll keep your son,
Thank you for having us.
certainly in our thoughts and prayers. God bless you.